welcome each one of you to the CEO Talk Mumbai. This is an initiative by The Talk. My name is Anmol Garg, and I'm going to be a moderator for today's session. I'm the co-founder of a company called Sales 5X, which is into sales training and consulting. CEO Talk is a platform that helps sharing ideas and insights to transform organizations and to create a better and transparent forum for meaningful business relationships and partnerships. This event is brought to you by Tata Tele Business Services. It's the country's leading enabler of connectivity and communication solutions for businesses. With services ranging from connectivity, collaboration, cloud, security, IoT, and marketing solutions, Tata Tele Business Services offers the largest portfolio of ICT services for businesses in India. I now invite Janice Das. She is the Regional Marketing Head, Tata Tele Business Services, Mumbai, to deliver the welcome address and also tell us more about Tata Tele Business Services.
Thank you, Anmol. And once again, welcome to all the speakers and a very good afternoon. So during this COVID time, we all know that pandemic is reshaping the business environments across. And as such, digital tech capabilities are taking the center stage to ensure business survival and growth. Digital agility will be a critical factor for the newly remote workforce to communicate and collaborate effectively, and for employees and customers to have reliable access to applications and services that they need. At Tata Tele Business Services, therefore, our strategy is to continue to empower the businesses with innovative, bespoke solutions that help SMBs maintain their business continuity. We anticipate the speed of digital transformation to accelerate across SMEs in 2020, given their experience during the pandemic. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, we have seen an uptake in the adoption of new age digital technologies like cloud-based solutions, collaboration solutions, and IoT and data management solutions, cutting across all industries. Also, with Industry 4.0 being a key growth driver for us, our growth strategy is centered around strengthening our portfolio of services, especially in the areas of SaaS, IaaS, IoT, and cloud, while simultaneously enhancing our network, channel, and sales capabilities to cover as much of the enterprise footprint as possible. We shall continue to play the role of technology enabler to the enterprises by providing digital platforms that significantly impact the competitiveness of our customers and enable them to do big and be ahead of the curve. Thank you, Anmol.
Thank you, Janice, for that introduction. Gentlemen, let's give it a round of applause. I know this is a virtual event, but let's keep the energy flowing. Thank you so much for that. We will now dive into a roundtable. The theme of today's discussion is rising to the challenge with the tech advantage. And I'm joined by a very able panel today. I have with me Mr. Dheeraj Gupta. He's the CEO of JumboKing. Dr. Apoorv Ranjan, the co-founder and president, Venture Catalyst. Mr. Lalit Agarwal, president, ReflectoSafe. Mr. Mahesh Wandi, the CTO of BookMyShow. Mr. Sumit Dutt, founder and MD, QPlay, Leo Stride Entertainment Private Limited. Again, give yourselves a round of applause, gentlemen, for taking time out and joining us in today's discussion. The format of this discussion is going to be very simple. I have about 5 to 7 questions, and I would love to get your views on each of these questions. I humbly request all the panelists to keep your answers short and crisp so that we hear out from everyone, and it also helps us wrap up on time. With that, let's get started. My first question is, how has the pandemic affected your business? Probably starting with you, Lalit.
Yeah, so I represent a company called ReflectoSafe. We are basically manufacturers of high visibility clothing, reflective safety clothing, which is a part of the technical textiles. And this is quite a labor centric business. And during pandemic, we were mostly hit due to the labor migration. Before we could restart our unit, we got a special permission to manufacture the PPE suits. So this helped us retain a few of our skilled labor and keep the factory going. And it was very difficult for us to be connected with our team and our dealers across the country. So one of the challenges was how to be connected, at the same time how to be effectively communicating to them about their well-being and to keep our factory running. So this was one of the challenges that we faced at that time.
Sure, sure. Great. Mahesh, you're in the event space, and events is something that took a big hit. How did it affect your business, probably compared to last year?
Absolutely. Even though I just joined Book My Show just 2.5 months back, because before that I was in the ad marketing industry with Near, where the impact was a little bit less than Book My Show impact. But last 2.5 months, I can clearly say that with the movie industries being strongly impacted, definitely it was one of the biggest hit for us. I mean, very badly impacted, right? But due to the way the business was before all these years, Book My Show being the #1 online booking platform for movies and the live events, we had some financial stability, right? Because of that, the business wise, we were not that as badly positioned, even though the revenue literally became zero since the pandemic, right? Because now that since 50% of the seats started getting opened up, it started picking up back again. But we were really impacted. But what we did was we kind of like tried to see when the pandemic started, with the movies industry being closed, we knew that when it is opening up, how do you position yourself for, let's say, chess layout seat? I mean, the social distancing. How do we actually come up with the notice to the customers so that they are aware of how the new way of watching movies, what's going to be the new norm, right? So we prepared our technology towards that kind of aspect, but we were definitely badly.
Sure.
We'll cover more details in later, but yeah.
Sure, sure. Thanks for that insight, Mahesh. Dheeraj, whenever I think of Jumbo King, I'm thinking of Vada Pav. How did the pandemic, hit your retail business?
Yeah, I guess all of us are in the same boat. The pandemic took all of us by surprise, and when you're in the brick and mortar business, things were shut down. And I think, but we just took a call early on that we are not going to sit and complain about what has happened, because it is the situation that is. And so fortunately for us, digital platforms like Zomato and Swiggy, they exist, where there's a lot of the delivery business could take place. So we said, let us focus on that. And I think the only drawback with platforms like Zomato, Swiggy is that they don't share customer data with us. So we were kind of at their mercy in terms of not being able to remarket to our customers. So we kind of launched our loyalty program, and there's this product called Thrive, which we are using. So a lot of the customers which come in, we have their database, and we can kind of keep selling and remarketing to them. So business was badly hit, but I think we took this as a great opportunity to find out what the weak links in the system are, because I think all of us who are going to come out on the other side of the pandemic are going to have a fabulous ride for the next 3 to 4 years. So it was a great time to get the team in place, to get a lot of the training in place, to get a lot of these supply chain issues in place, and prepare for the reopening. Though of course I think it has got delayed a lot. We were hoping it would reopen by October, but I think October's gone, November's gone. Now we are looking at December also. They're talking for second lockdown. So let's hope for the best.
Sure. I'm sure all of us want 2020 to get over psychologically and move into 2021 with some good news. Dr. Apur, I'm going to flip that question for you. You've invested in a lot of startups. So on behalf of a lot of emerging companies, startups, how do you think has the pandemic affected them?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, the impact of COVID on the consumer-focused startups was definitely there. And many of them had to shut down their operations. For example, the companies into restaurants and, especially F&B companies. and also the companies which were directly serving to the customers like car cleaning companies and all. But our advice to our portfolio was to reduce the burn as much as possible. And the time came, 4-5 months back when it started recovering. I think most of them have recovered at least 80%, and some of them even better situation now. But there were sectors which were like very much positively impacted. Right? So when January, February, or March, when this lockdown situation came, we were on a full speed of investments. Suddenly a break came. For 1 month no zero investments, because we also made clear all the venture capital companies, many of them, they stopped investing, and we also was for a month not investing almost, because also we were not clear what will be the situation and how it's to be handled. But later on, we realized that the deal quality which we are getting, because we had the investment capability, is much higher than what we used to get earlier. Right? Suddenly, in last 6-7 months till November, we realized that our business, which we used to do of investments into the startups, have gone by 2 times. Largely because there are sectors which are very much positively impacted. For example, AdTech, which never saw the surge of revenues as much as they saw during this period. Similarly, healthcare companies, healthcare product companies. Similarly, deep tech companies, AI companies. Similarly, agri-tech companies. I'm talking about some of the positively impacted sectors, right? And there were sectors which were, very much, and I was surprised to see the growth in the automobile sectors. Because of the pandemic, people don't want to use the public transports. Most of them, So that's why the surge in electric mobility sectors, right? So there are a couple of sectors which were positively impacted, and they were really new use cases to the investors. But frankly, overall, the investment sentiment was, I was looking at the numbers also, at least it is 70-80% situation where we are now, So, yes, many startups got negatively impacted and badly impacted during this pandemic time. But they could figure out the new business model, many of them. And they could also figure out the new ways of growing the things, especially the supply chain companies. They could figure out the way, because most of the FMCG giants, they were not using technology to do the distribution, to do the sales. But many of them came to us that is there other startups who can help us, and we actually was surprised with that kind of requirements coming from these corporates. So a lot of automation, lot of digitization, lots of technology use has already, and I'll tell you, this pandemic actually taught a lot of lessons to us. We've become more organized, we've become more technology savvy, and we have learned how to scale using the technology. So this was positives, but there was, of course, old models really burst down. That's what I can say.
Sure. I think the pandemic has also taught us to be very humble, because you never know. There are a lot of things outside our control. Sumit, you are from the entertainment space. Tough time last 6-7 months. What's been your observation?
Yeah, I think we're living in a new world now, and definitely everything has changed. And, especially the emotion of individual has changed. So the communication changes. So the way of doing business has changed, most importantly. So Qplay TV is a premium content platform which we have created. And we were about to start a show with the IPL at that point of time in March. And we were about to shoot with the Chennai Super King team. And just few days before, and this whole thing has happened, and it's put us in a standstill. And ours is a sponsorship model. So all the brands which were on the platform go back into reverse, So immediately everything came on hold. But I feel it has definitely taught us a lot of new ways of looking at things in a very, very different perspective. I think it's a dramatic pause for everybody, which has given a new perspective to every individual, every business, and I think to the entire humanity. So I feel we also took a step back and then re-looked at our resources and the manpower we had, and the kind of work we wanted to do. And definitely we found a lot more different and newer ways to do the business. And I think, as I love Jack Ma's line that, it's not about the survivor of the fittest, it's the survivor of the quickest. So the faster we adapt the changes, the faster we moved. And yes, we have seen some fantastic positive results in that.
Sure. I like that phrase, survivor of the quickest. I think
Quickest.
that's the lean, that's the agile model that we need to follow
Yep.
in these unprecedented times. So if you think the second half of this financial year is going to be much better, raise both your hands if you've seen some green shoots coming in. Raise both your hands if you see the second half of the year being better. No one? Okay, Mahesh is seeing that, Dheeraj is seeing that. Okay, we've got Lalit, I'm just gonna go across to Lalit. Okay, Apurv, very quickly, second half is gonna be much better.
Second half definitely going to be much better. See, we are bouncing back now.
Right.
We have learned our lessons, how to be, how to control ourselves during this pandemic. International travel has started. Even domestic travel started, and we have learned it that traveling by the flights is safe now. So the business started, frankly, and so I definitely see a surge now coming in next 6 months.
Sure. Sumit, has the shooting started?
Yeah, shoot has definitely started, and more than that, everybody's so eager to come out and do things they want to do it. And I feel we reached to a stage where we streamline ourselves with what is going on around. Our lifestyle has taken a change, which is required for today. And I think everybody got that hunger now. Everybody want to come out and do things. And I think that is the human instinct, which is going to change things in a very big way. And in the entertainment, I think, yes, everybody want to come out and shoot. Everybody want to create more content. And content, definitely, as I said, the emotion has changed, the content has changed. So now you're going to see a lot more different stuff which is going to come out.
Sure. We are all waiting for that. Mahesh, as Sumit was saying, a lot of people want to do different things, and there's always the word revenge being attached before it. Revenge tourism, revenge vacation, revenge shopping. So in terms of revenge entertainment, do you see the things opening up now?
Absolutely, Sumit. I mean, there is no doubt about it. I mean, we are already seeing it. In Middle East, we are seeing a lot of traction. We are supporting other 5 countries as well, right? Even in India, we are seeing a pretty good move so far. We are hopeful that by February, March, we should be in a good situation, unless otherwise something terribly goes wrong again, right? I mean, we are all hopeful that it's just going to be an upward journey rather than, something else comes up, right? I mean, this pandemic has taught us that we don't have control, right? I mean, we always believe that we are in control, but it really made us to stay humble. Some of you guys touched upon that very, very, very strongly. I mean, and then also, I see I have been in the US last 18 years. Okay. I mean, and since I came back from US over here, one of the things I think this pandemic still actually hasn't taught our people in this industry is what is mean by, one of you guys talked about how do you become the quickest, right? Deliver faster rather than being, the typical statement of I'm planning it, right? I mean, that has become like a kind of that culture of like, I don't know whether it is driven by job stability or insecurity, or they're not understanding the product world is all about going and making it happen, getting it out there, fail fast. These are all not just philosophical statements, right? What will happen if you fail fast? Nothing is going to happen. It's okay. Customer is also ready for it, right? Customer want to see the new adoption, new features coming in. And we are looking at the Book My Show for many of those kind of things, right? Where the culture is being completely shifted along with the people. The guys deliver fast. Think as a customer, what do you want to see there and how you move faster? That is the main transformation happening in the Book My Show. So we are absolutely setting ourselves to be ready for that, whatever is going to be the stage, So, but it's a journey with the people.
Sure, as they say, the entrepreneur is always ready to take on challenges, even in uncharted territories.
Absolutely. I mean, the day you become in comfort, no? I mean, the way I look at it is like the moment I became comfort zone in this company, in my position, I should be out of here. I should leave that job because you're taking the company back. Right? Let the new
Right,
perspective
right.
comes in, new vision comes in, take it forward. You know. So I
Sure.
hope it's on the right track for now. Let's see.
Right. Let's hope for the best. Dheeraj, are you happy with the footfalls coming in probably last couple of months? Is that making you smile? Dheeraj, if you could unmute yourself.
No, sorry, can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, my question was, are the footfalls making you happy last, let's say, a month and a half?
For us, our business is very largely dependent on the railway network. So trains are still shut in Mumbai. So there has not been too much difference over there. I think the
Okay.
we are waiting for the government to decide to open the trains. Of course, there's going to be a rush of cases post that, but then we have to move on. We have to start living. And so, I just wanted to, of course, hearing everyone, I also wanted to kind of just add, I think that a lot of the businesses, when in the go-go times, when everything is working and people are expanding left, right, center, getting into different formats and different verticals, what the pandemic has really taught us is that in Jammu King, we have always felt, it's very important to remain focused on the business that you're doing. And the focus for the product, focus for the size of the store, focus for the customer that you're catering to, which you're going after everyone. So I think a lot of in the food space, especially, a lot of the the mortality which you're going to see around is going to happen where people have opened too many different formats and are trying to get into different cuisines instead of focusing on becoming a master, a specialist in one. So
Sure.
I think that has been a huge learning, which people have realized that do one thing and really try to be world class at it. And so this pandemic is a test for all the businesses to get lean and get the flag.
Right. Sure. Sure. Lalit, have you seen your numbers, your revenue go up probably last quarter?
Yes, of course. We are almost 80% of last year's numbers. So we are almost there. We have hired a national manager and we have done many things that we hadn't done till yet. So we are almost there. I think so. If everything goes well, by December, we'll be back to last year's numbers at least.
Great. I'm sure you're going to have a great Christmas.
Yeah.
Amol, one of the things which we guys have observed, the use of technology has grown a lot. And that is actually helping us a lot in being more organized, taking quick decisions, as well as bringing a scale to the business. And this is actually, this was not the case in the past. Because many times we were not able to, realize that this is a need of our business, right?
Sure. In fact, that was going to be my next question. A lot of companies had to jump on the digital transformation bandwagon to keep themselves relevant, to have a business continuity in place when there was a lockdown. So, in fact, I want to go across to each one of you and understand how have you leveraged technology to make sure your business continues even during adverse conditions like the lockdown. Probably anyone can jump in. Sumit, have you leveraged technology?
Absolutely. You have to convert pain into the power. So technology came handy at that point of time. We never thought that, a production, entire back end of the production can be, done the way we are doing it today. This only happened thanks to the pandemic. We realized that even if we are sitting in the smallest village somewhere across India, we can still coordinate and produce a product and put it in the mainstream. My guy, first for 1 month, we told him, okay, work from home. So entire studio was shifted to his house. Then he is from Kolhapur. He has, after that 1 month, finding it difficult to live. So we put the entire studio in his car, drove it down to Kolhapur, put the entire studio in the village. So the moment he reached there, he was stopped at the border. So he's put in a tent for 15 days. So 15 days, all the Macs and everything is working with the inverter, and we are still working. We are still producing the mainstream content, you know. So I think now he's still there and absolutely no problem. And we are continuing with our productions. So all thanks to technology. And I think it's not just the technology, there's more than enough technology is out there. But what suits us and how much we want of it, I think that is the question. So like in the village, the Wi-Fi was the challenge and that we have worked out. And then the power was the challenge. So Mondays, there are no power over there. So Monday become our weekend. You know, that's become the holiday for us. So we start working from Tuesday, Wednesday till Sunday. So things, you adapt faster and then you continue with the intention of delivering. And I think this pandemic has really challenged us. And I think humanity has won already, I can say that.
Sure. I love the anecdote of, how the studio was brought home
Yes.
instead of the other way around. And Mondays becoming the new Sundays. Definitely food for thought. Dheeraj, of course, yours is an offline play, but how did you leverage technology during the lockdown to make sure there's continuity?
I think one of the biggest benefits that we got in this lockdown was we realized that training is such a critical part of everything that we do. And we always felt that the trainer has to be right there and, delivering the training to the staff, to the team. But all of that got converted into videos. And, the training actually is now as standardized as it used to be. The person can watch it as frequently as he may want. We got our app made. So, the training is available at all times. And we are thinking, why didn't we think of this all along? Because we used to get all the people in one room and then try to train them. And even the trainer would train differently at different times, depending on his mood or her mood, and or the response of the team. So I think the entire experience became the training part became so, and we've come up with such fabulous training content, and then the trainer program helped kind of resolve issues, which at the staff, if it's a team of 5 people, if they have questions. But at least 80% of the content got delivered in a very, very standardized format, which, we kind of continue to.
Sure.
I think that was a huge, and now as, from our 107th store, we also came up with this, vision of, that we're going to, look at 10x growth and get to 1,000 stores over the next 7 to 8 years. And so, but this training, which used to be such a big, bottleneck for us, it got resolved. We said, boss, now we can go far and wide.
Sure. I'm sure you're saving a lot of cost as well because of this initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the travel time, the hiring of the training rooms, all of that gets controlled. And people, what has actually happened is people have got used to getting instructions through video. Earlier, it was
Right.
they would just refuse to accept that new form of training. They'd say that, no, I'm not understanding. And even the trainer would quickly relapse to let, no, I need to do this physically.
Right.
I think 6 months is a long time that there has been this huge shift in the habit of people doing the way they're doing things.
Right. What would have typically taken 5-7 years has now taken 5-7 months for us to get there.
I think
Lalit, how have you leveraged technology?
Probably, the next generation
Good.
have adapted to technology. We have all adapted to technology thanks to the COVID.
Right. Absolutely. It's been a big generation gap which has actually come down. Lalit, how have you leveraged technology?
So there was a challenge to meet our dealers network and our end customers. So we quickly understood that, and we shifted to Zoom meetings. And as Dheeraj said, that now they are more reactive to the online new rate of online meetings, and now it's started working, giving us results. We used LinkedIn to get into the right category of people we wanted to work with. We made a list out of the LinkedIn, and that also helped us a lot to make a list of prospective customers once we the unlock started. So again, that also helped us a lot to get back to where we are now. Otherwise, it would have been a very bad situation. Now we are also coming up. We are adapting to a new CRM software, which also has the video conferencing software in it. So earlier it was not the case. So it's going to be a seamless, data collection and points to discuss with dealers, with end customers through video conferencing, giving them demos. So our product again is a lot dependent on giving demos for the awareness programs. We make reflective jackets, which are supposed to be worn to be visible, and we really are dependent on making videos and showing videos. So all those videos we are now playing to the end customer through this video conferencing. So yeah, and there is a lot that we need to adapt. We are figuring it out. Let's see. Yeah, that's how it is.
Sure. Mahesh, Book My Show is already a technology company, but with a large workforce like yours, was it easy to collaborate with people working from home? What kind of technology did you leverage during the lockdown?
Absolutely. I mean, it's always a challenge, right? I mean, because we always have a working culture of like see the people, track them and make sure that the work is being done, right? Especially I heard about Mumbai, where people want to be in office and working together, right? And like the Bangalore culture, where it's a mixed. Actually, we are okay to be working from home, and because of the terrible traffic over here in Bangalore. But honestly, it's a tough proposition because it challenges your culture. It challenges your trust aspect. Even though we say logically, verbally that we are all driven by the trust, and I trust the guy, I trust my team, and all this stuff. It's a mutual trust. It's a two-way direction. And it all gets challenged during these remote times, right? And gradually, all these engineering managers and people have to build that relationship very strongly to make it work. And it's still, I wouldn't say across the board, across the industry, it is still actually right up there. Everybody's trying to adapt to that, right? And but the Slack, the Hangouts, and the WhatsApps, and everything is actually kind of like making their ways easier. So that is one aspect, right? The communication wise, managing remotely. But the second aspect is how did we, as a technology company, leverage technology to make our way into the next phase, right? For example, we are getting into the online pay-per-view, industry altogether. We are also looking at what are the different ways we can actually make this movie buying experience better, right? There are many things actually coming, which I don't want to reveal at the moment, but we're leveraging the technology to make it absolutely perfect for the customer, right? That transition is actually happening in this. And as a company which has been 21 years in the industry, plus 13 years, the Book My Show software, a lot of technical debts have been piled up. So we are looking at what does a new BMS 2.0 look like, right? So that's the journey also we are taking. So there's a lot of technology adoption happening at the right pace.
Sure, I'm sure a lot of interesting initiatives are coming out of your desk.
Absolutely.
I also have with me, yeah, wonderful. I also have with me Mr. Kishore GB. He's the General Manager, SME Operations of Tata Tele Business Services. Welcome, Kishore. Happy to have you here. If you could quickly want to share a few words with the panel.
Hi, good afternoon. Pandemic make us become a really good technology company. So in fact, we have done a lot of connectivity solutions to most of the technology companies. So initially it was a shock for us, maybe 15, 20 days. Then we never stopped working. Being a frontline team, it's come under essential service. So no, maybe sometimes the sales team got some sort of relaxation, saying that it's a shock to the sales team where they used to go out, always meet people in the roads, streets, offices. But otherwise, we never stopped working. If you ask me, we started meeting existing customers to give business continuity plan. And our service delivery teams was there always on the field to how to give connectivity to them. And also this situation made me to become a fully technology company. So today we do a lot of meetings with a lot of clients through Teams, Zoom, or various alternative models. This was really, it was not there in our blood before COVID. And we are there, and now we are getting a lot of opportunity in in a not in a traditional way of selling. We are getting opportunities in a cloud. We are getting opportunities in data centers. Now offices are moved from clusters to it's become a branches. It's gone somewhere rural, somewhere in villages. So we are finding out a lot of alternative media outlets to connect these teams. If you ask me, office, no policy yet to come out where how we are meet in office, but going to be a hybrid model kind of setup. It's going to be a supervisory offices. It's like a small offices where, because we need office to meet sales team and the network technology teams. So this is a way we are looking for this going forward. We are always there. We never stopped working.
Wonderful. I think that's a common story that probably everyone on this panel shares. In fact, there's a joke which is going around, what has brought about the digital transformation in your company. First option is CTO, second option is CEO, third option is COVID. And I think COVID has brought about that digital transformation faster than we all thought. Here's a quick question to all the panelists. Raise your left hand if you feel that the work from home is here to stay. Raise your left hand if you think it's here to stay. Raise your right hand if you think we will go back to office once the vaccine is out, once the things are normal. And probably do a namaste, bring your hands together if it's a hybrid model, So it's going to be office, but something that, Kishore was talking about clusters, but there's also going to be work from home. Let's go. Let me see the, okay. So Sumit is, okay. We have hybrid. Dheeraj is saying, Dheeraj's right hand, so full work from office. Okay, we'll start with Dheeraj since he's saying that we all want to go back to office. Dheeraj, please share your views. Is it the culture that you're talking about, which is largely in play here?
So we had this very interesting discussion in office, between what is better, and having reopened our office from October onwards, we've been, working. We started back about 2 months ago. What we realized is that the productivity is so much higher when you do a meeting with a person face to face. While the same thing, hello, can you hear me? Can I hear you? And what do you say? And just the whole thing gets lost. I felt we, having experienced both the worlds, now I can very, very confidently say that yes, one-on-one meetings are way more effective. But yes, as so as we're getting into different cities, like a Bangalore and Delhi and Hyderabad, of course we are going to love, and we figure out a way to conduct meetings on Zoom also. But the one-on-one meetings are going to remain. They are going, so the team within Bangalore will meet, the team within Hyderabad will meet. The teams across cities will find it way easier to do calls and conduct business. The weekly and the daily huddles that we have, those will happen over this. So as in the entire team unanimously, the vote was, when we meet in person, the guidance is much faster, getting things done is faster, decision making is faster.
Sure. Mahesh, do you share that sentiment that once you're face to face, eye to eye, belly to belly, you spoke about culture as well, right? It's easier to, be a part of that culture if it's face to face.
Absolutely. I mean, nothing better than seeing the person, hearing the voice, and feeling it, right? I mean, there is no alternative to it. But at the same time, in a product company, the time matters a lot, right? The freshness matters a lot. So there are many times you have to respect the fact that give the people their space, right? I mean, let them work their own ways and get the productivity out, and measure the people by the delivery and the results. We attach too much emotions, we attach too much trust factor and all the crap into it, which is really not working together, right? At the end of the day, what does matter? Measure by delivery, right? Measure by how are we moving faster. And if things doesn't work out, we have to get into this little bit of Western working culture where don't take your job for granted. That's exactly the problem here. Forget about all this work from home and being in office. All the stuff are secondary things. What is really the biggest problem at the moment is, are we taking our stuff for granted? That's the number one issue right now. When I was working in 18 years in US, every day I check my phone. The next day, is my VPN still working, or is my mail still working? Do I still have my job? Right? And it's not a lack of confidence. It's basically you don't take it for granted. So there are multiple aspects, honestly speaking, but I'm a huge believer of have a hybrid, work culture, and let the people work from home whenever they want to, but have the discipline around it, because you cannot actually take it for granted as well. But ultimately measure it and then make a final decision.
Sure, that's an interesting take. But if you're in a city like Bangalore, where I am, I typically save 3 hours traveling to and fro from office. Apoorv, would love to get your views. I think we've had interesting insights. Culture is built obviously if you're face to face, but you've got to measure it. You've got to measure it, and does productivity suffer? So I'm going to bundle all of them to get your quick perspective on this.
So, frankly, in our business, we take an investment decision. We invest in startups, sometimes $1 million, sometimes $2 million. And we have this year we had around 80 investments. And that decision we used to take when we meet the person, and when we used to spend time with him, and when we used to understand the person very, very well, the team entirely. That practice has completely changed now. We are taking decisions on Zoom. We are taking decisions on, based on the data which they provide us, based on the documents they provide us. Completely changed, because for 2 months, for 1.5 months or so, we were not able to figure out how to invest, because all those old practices, which I say that, age-old practices, most of the investment companies used to follow. If at that stage, I realized that, we should think, because a friend of mine, from US told me that's going to stay, because we operate in 6 countries and 40 cities in India. So somebody very close to me, and he works very large pharma company. He said, Kapoor is going to stay for about 1.5 years or 2. So you have to figure out your way. So I said, there's a time when we have to change and transform our ways of working. So we completely changed, to be frank. So we're gonna, and we love this. We love this methodology now. We are taking decisions on call to invest. We are taking and large calls. I'm talking about $1 million, $2 million investment at the early stage, and this is all happening now. So, and we become more efficient. Frankly, we liking the way how it's even if the market is open, everything is normal. We're gonna have maybe 30-40% of our time in the offices. Rest of time, I want people to, because we totally believe, earlier what used to happen, the trust factor was limited. Whether the persons are going to work or not, we should see whether they are working or not, whether we should see and meet them, whether they are working to improve their performances, we have to meet them and motivate them. All those things have now understood that, it's not required now. You can do it on call also, you can do it on this also. So frankly, we're going to be hybrid the way you say. We're going to continue to be hybrid, even if the markets are open. We're fine with this. And about other startups also, a lot of our startups also have the same belief. We spoke to a lot of them, and they said, Dr. Purva, at least we're getting time with the family also. There's also one factor which nobody else noticed. We are getting closer to the family just because of that.
Right. I thought you'll also say husbands are also, doing work in the kitchen as well.
Yes, we become more better people now. It's happening. So it's impacting see, there are transformations happening here, boss. See, most of the Intel of the world, they have announced, work from home till June or July, or they're going to increase that. And they've also sold their large piece of real estate already. Yeah, the difference between sitting in Nariman Point, difference between sitting in Andheri West, and difference sitting in the, is not going to be there anymore. It's wherever you're working, if you're accountable to your work, you're performance-driven guy, that's the kind of people we are looking at. And we are fine even if they're sitting in Ahmedabad and working for Bombay company. That's okay.
That's a very good point, actually. That's an excellent point. I liked. I mean, it's all about you find the people who you don't have to ask towards. You hire the best people, and you have to keep asking them to do the task. It's the wrong people. It's
Wrong
it's
practice.
go after the right people. Don't go after the best people. That's a wrong statement, actually. Go after the right people. So you don't have to ask them to work. They will deliver automatically.
And traveling takes a lot of time and energy.
तो
And
बैंगलोर में तो 3 घंटा पूरा वेस्ट है. Every day 3 hours. Bangalore. People are sitting in
same
Bangalore.
here in Mumbai.
Same in Mumbai, yaar, apna.
And then 2 hours in the office for your break. So
If you're debating Mumbai versus Bangalore, I'm sure Bangalore wins in terms of number of hours wasted.
Yes, but Mumbai is not less, huh, by the way. Mumbai is equally bad.
No, but I think training is going to be online for sure in future. Training, meeting customers.
100%.
It's the new shift.
So I am
I think the first adoptions was by the kids. When we saw during those first 1.5 months, first people who adopted it was our kids. They were the first to move online and do their classes online. Then we saw them, yeah, guys, these guys are also adopted. What do we do? Why are we sitting at home? Let's do our business also.
How true is that?
That's an interesting twist. Sumit,
That's a fact.
we've spoken about. Yeah, I'm going to ask Sumit this question. What about the stress levels? There is no, it's blurred. What is work? What is your personal life? Do you think those lines are getting blurred?
See, in entertainment, in our business, anyway, it's a very blurred line. It's basically we live 24/7 with the idea. We try to, there used to be a lot of human interaction earlier. Like as Apurva said that, first used to meet person personally and judge the person the same way we meet the writers and the directors and put everybody on one table, discuss and, see his body language and understand whether he can do it. All gone. Now the idea is shared across Zoom or whichever way we listen to the idea, telling him to develop the idea. So I think we have all changed and we all learned how to live with this technology. And I think the change is law of nature. So this time, this law just fast forwarded. That's it. Anyway, this would have changed 5 years down the lane. It happened in 5 months, as exactly said. So I think, yes, we have changed. But I don't think so in terms of our emotions have changed or as you said, the blur, I am not finding it so difficult actually that anything has majorly changed. Rather, it has brought a lot of convenience as we all agree. So we are saving our time, we're spending our more time with the family. And I think it's good for our own mind space. So I think it's a win-win situation. Absolutely.
Dheeraj, you wanted to add something?
I'm clearly outnumbered here, but I'm still going to try and make a couple of points.
Sure.
One you brought up, interestingly, Anmol, is that the lines getting blurred when people are working from home. People were feeling free to call each other at 8 a.m., 8 p.m. And, it was Saturdays, Sundays, because we literally forgot that it was the Saturday when those things were happening. Second, I think the realization, we were very excited about doing Zoom birthday parties and, all of that. And then we said, no, enough of this nonsense, no more Zoom birthday parties. We have to meet in person and, we have to hug each other and we have to give the high fives. That is what life is all about. How can we, or rather I called the US culture very cold, where literally I had a great friend who said that I have got a lot of friends and all of them called me and wished me a happy birthday. No one came to actually meet me. So, that is a very US thing. I don't think in India, we love meeting. And that's a very, it's a trait we are very proud of, I'm sure. And education. So I have got 2 kids. My son, he is 14 years old. So they have not attended school in the last 8-9 months. They don't have friends. They are missing that entire interaction, that camaraderie. There's so much else that happens around other than studies. Your character getting built, you become competitive, you have fights, you make friends. That entire thing has gone for a complete toss, and you can't replace that in the virtual experience. So, and I've seen people giving exams where one guy is preparing for the exam, and the other 3 friends are on the phone and they're doing their exams while they're online, and there's no way the teacher can catch them. The people during classes, they are on mute and music chalu hai, or they have gone off to sleep, and the teacher cannot catch hold of this kind of behavior. I think that, and so just this that there is a place where you go to work, there is a place where you go to be with the family. I think family time has become better after we restarted office, because now the kids say, "Oh, dad is home." So now the next 1 hour we are going to spend with him. We are going to have dinner together. We are going to talk about what happened during the day. While during lockdown, it was you're actually getting taken for granted because you're hanging around all the time. So you're like, "Ha, Dad, theek hai, it's okay. I had my dinner," and So it is just a feeling that we become closer, which was there for the first 2 months, and I think then we lost that whole the speciality of the occasion of reaching home and meeting the kids. So that is, I know I'm outnumbered on this panel, but I just thought I'll make my point anyway.
For me, whenever I hear either side, I'm like, yes, that makes sense. So I think we are all divided in some way or the other. We are all divided some way or the other, but let's see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Between working online and working from home, we can work from office and still work online.
Yeah.
It's about traveling versus online. Few things we can do online. Few like earlier meetings can conduct on online. Trainings can conduct on online. Work from home, possible for few, possible not for. Depends upon the industry as well. Like IT can completely work online.
I
Work from home.
completely agree with you. Meetings can happen, but work. Yeah, so working from home versus working online. That's a very fine distinction you brought up. So I'm arguing more for working, not working from home, but working online. Yes, we have all adopted big time.
Right. I think we would love to have this discussion again, probably after 4-5 months. We never know what kind of situation we'll be in.
Yeah.
But coming to the question, I'll start with Apoorv here. What about the cybersecurity risk? Since everything's moving online, we've seen a lot of attacks also coming in, which is securing the privacy of data. What's your take on that?
Huge attacks, major. I mean, especially C-level executives, most of them, emails hacked, mobile WhatsApp they've tried to hack at least 5 times. Okay, and so we have to face this. And I'm surprised, my entire emails were hacked at one point of time. People were getting messages from my email that they want this and that. So this has grown definitely, and I came to know from for my IT boys that they are the organized players on doing that. Because once you grow, of course, India was not earlier adopted. We're not adopted online earlier that much the way we have adopted now. So of course we will have to have our learnings, on that side also. Cybersecurity is definitely was weak, and it has to grow. We were looking for solutions. It's definitely impacting.
Sure. Right. In fact, I want to take this question to Mahesh. Mahesh, of course, Book My Show is a big company, but there are a lot of organizations who are probably not equipped to deal with the attacks. And as Apoorv said, they've only been rising.
I mean, the matter of the fact is now almost all the consumer companies are actually aware of this, and they're strengthening their cybersecurity team. It's not anymore cakewalk or afterthought process. It's always along with the product development to begin with. The InfoSec check, all the awareness programs, the phishing email awareness, all these things have to be part of your process on a day-to-day basis, right? So we are also no exception. I don't want to get into detail of it, but we are also tracking our day-to-day aspects of what's really going on. Are there any denial of service attacks? And where do we stand with the industry in terms of a ranking of our overall security strength? So day by day, we are actually looking at how to make it much more strengthened based on the data we collect. And we are, as we are collecting all the PI data and the identifiable information and the PCI data. So it's very important for us to be one step further. But it's one extremely critical aspect for us.
Right. I'm sure a lot of businesses will now make that as the focus.
They have. It should not be an option. It should not be an option in the picture. It should not be an afterthought process. It has to be an integrated process.
Right. Sure. So coming to the other side, Sumit, one strategy that's worked for you over the last 6 months, which you would advise to another business owner, another entrepreneur. One strategy.
See, when this entire thing, all of the way, this thing happened, and I told you that we were about to shoot the entire series with the IPL, and it came to the standstill. And when we say premium platform, so there a lot more go into creating a premium content in terms of the production values, in terms of the celebrity factor, in terms of multiple things. So when everything happened, then we realized we can't produce those productions right now. But at the same time, we can't bring something substandard on the platform as well. So we sat down and we looked back what we have. So then we realized that the entire show which we have done is with Chennai Super Kings, but we never served to the to the Tamil audience. So what we did, the same show which has been shown last year, we dubbed in Tamil, and it became a huge success, because otherwise in the normal process would have never thought about doing this. So a strategy where you look at your own resources and the own stuff you have, and how you can recycle and how you can really use at that point of time. And it's done a tremendous success. And we got a huge response from a Tamil audience. Plus Hindi audience also worked for us. So I think that one strategy that, completely find a way or fade away kind of situation it was. And then we really found a way, So I think that's really worked very well for us.
You're saying experiment as much as possible. Is that the key learning?
Experiment as well as go deeper into what you have, and you might find some more ways to do things,
Interesting. Sure. Yeah. Lalit, one strategy that's worked for you, which you would probably advise anyone who's watching this right now.
We have already, we have to learn to adapt new shift, like online meetings. And see, we are totally dependent on meeting our customers, giving their demos and all that. I think so that can shift to online, and extracting data, creating our prospective customers are all there on LinkedIn. So we are now heavily dependent on not participating in exhibitions, rather than getting our own list of customers from whatever online stuff we have. So we are going to shift, we are going to save a lot of time, money, energy. Then we'll review again after 6 months how the industry is working. So that's what we want to do.
I love the last line. You said we will review again. So that's the strategy. I think you just got to keep trying what's working, review it, change it so that it can work.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Lalit. Dheeraj?
I think I'm coming from the foods business space. I think a lot of people in the food space, they try to change their business models completely to adapt to the changing times. And I personally feel that these are, knee-jerk reactions, temporary quick fixes to try, like, restaurants suddenly starting to also deliver groceries and these kind of things. So, this is, I feel, is a lot of activity, and activity does not necessarily equal to progress. There is a time when you just need to stay put. There is a pandemic. There is a, this huge situation outside. You just need to stay put and actually do nothing and not lose focus or not lose faith in your business. Because when this passes away, we are going to come back. The customers are going to remain. The demand that your business is fulfilling is always going to remain. We have a lot of these QSRs which have become dark kitchens. QSRs is quick service restaurants. They're pivoted to dark kitchens. Now, the dark kitchen is a completely different animal, right? So the entire mindset required to run that kind of a business is different. But people changing business just because a COVID happened, so you're just going to get from one hole into another. So just stay put, keep on fine tuning what is, of course, adapt with the changing times, but fine tune your business model. Don't change it completely.
Sure, that's another interesting piece of advice. A word of caution: adapt, but don't change it to a completely different animal, because there's a different mindset that goes into it. Great, Mahesh.
Hybrid model.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple here. I mean, just actually stay focused and don't overdo or don't overthink. Pick 2 or 3 things which you want. I mean, the Steve Jobs, I'm coming from Apple. I've been there the 4.5 years before I moved out of US. It's a very simple thing. You ask everyone what's your top 10 things to do, right? And then filter it out to like top 10 and then to top 3. And then you pick the top 1, right? And just stay focused on that. I mean, if you do that, no, absolutely will be fine. Otherwise, you'll be all over the place and you'll be nowhere. So that's a mantra which we are following right now, and it has been working.
Sure. It's interesting how every panelist refer to the word focus. I think if there's one big takeaway, just keep the focus and then things will work out. Kishore, I come to you, would want to ask you how Tata Tele Business Services can help SMEs, whether it's their connectivity challenges or a whole host of other issues.
As I mentioned earlier, we never stop working. Okay. And we are very strong in giving connectivity solutions earlier. Now we slowly shifted. We are not completely shifted, as Mahesh said. Nothing going to change. It's same. Everything is same. The old-fashioned ideas also is working with us. So what we did is a couple of things we did. One is we have created a lot of products which help companies to SMEs to enable their team members, their employees to work from home. We have a lot of work from home solutions. And also in connectivity solutions, we have a smart internet kind of and cloud telephony. Such product we are introduced to the SME segments. This helped. How this new product development happened from our side is basically of seeing some segments are did very well in this period, the pandemic situations like e-commerce and delivery, Swiggy's of the world, some companies. So we have a consultative discussions with all these companies which they are doing well, particular segments. So we created our new products. So there's a large value products, but also that we have a replication of such products for SMEs also. So as I'm saying again, we are never stopped. We are in touch with customers, even from in terms of business continuity, in terms of work from home solutions, all stuffs are ready. So as we grow, as along with our customers, win-win, we always there for SME in terms of connectivity solutions, in terms of work from home solutions, and also in terms of security solutions.
Sure. Thank you, Kishore, for that. My last question to the panelists before we wrap this up. You're all industry leaders yourselves. What do you read and watch to keep yourself updated about business? That's one. Second is, who is your influencer? Someone you follow very closely in whatever space for that matter. So what do you read and watch to keep yourself updated, and who is your influencer? Anyone can get going. Whoever's got their answers ready.
Yeah, I'll start. Basically,
Yes,
multiple leaders. Jeff Weiner on the leadership principles. Jeff Bezos on the customer focus, customer obsession, and Steve Jobs on making that big impact, right, and making the dent. So it's a collective, right? I mean, there are all these leaders have different aspects which you can pick, and then from keeping up to date, it's all about the medium. Medium is doing fantastic, honestly. Amazing, well-connected articles of all sorts. I don't see any other medium is required at the moment, because anyway, connected to LinkedIn and all the other mediums, you get all the other updates. But Medium is doing fantastic in terms of keeping leaders like us up to date across the different domains. So that's my take.
Sure. It's definitely a very insightful platform. Do you still read the newspaper, Mahesh?
Yeah, in some of this WhatsApp group, some of the guys share the newspaper, cutting. So I just read here and there.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Sumit?
See, I feel it's a very temporary time. It's not the permanent situation which has happened right now. Yes, there are a lot of influences. There are a lot of things are happening, but I am keeping a self-belief and a faith on top of it. And yes, we get inspiration from many people. But I think at this point of time, believing in yourself and keeping your team together and really putting a very positive front. And we are in a dark tunnel. We keep walking towards the light. And I think we just have to hold each other's hand, be strong, and get all the influence which can help you at every step and keep walking.
Sure. Absolutely. I think that's a message we all want to hear. Anything you've been reading lately, to keep yourself updated about business?
Yeah, I read quite a bit. Means one of the person in our industry, Mr. Ronnie Screwvala, he's doing 40 projects at this point of time when people are crying that there's no business and in media. It's a great inspiration. That man doesn't stop, 24/7. He's just signing up the new projects and keep on 40 projects. Can you believe that? He never done 40 projects in his career before. So he is out there and he want to, take it on the face. I think great inspiration that is.
Right. Every time I see his video, I feel he's getting younger. I don't know what's his secret behind. I think his enthusiasm. Do you agree with that, Sumit?
That is a success tonic.
I like the way you put it, success tonic.
Yeah.
Lalit, what is your success tonic? How do you keep yourself updated about business?
Everything except WhatsApp forwards, everything else. I mean, a lot of YouTube videos. I think so that is main source of learning I get from YouTube videos. At home during the lockdown, I was COVID positive, so I was quarantined for like 14 to 15 days. So a lot of YouTube videos I got to see and to relate to understand how to company like us to come out of this COVID and so there's a lot of learning from the YouTube videos. Yeah.
Right. If we watch the right YouTube videos, I think that is YouTube is a gold mine again, and I'm sure there's a lot to learn. Thank you for sharing that, Lalit. Dheeraj, if you could get a quick take from you, what have you been reading? How do you keep yourself updated? I think I lost you. Yeah, Dheeraj, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, so I think sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question was, what do you read and watch to keep yourself updated?
During this pandemic, interestingly, I've joined Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club, so which was a 66-day challenge to wake up at 5 a.m. every single day, including Sundays. So I just completed the challenge yesterday. So I've taken back to reading in a big way because you get up at 5 in the morning and what do you do? So I've been, reading a lot of books on management, and I follow this guy, Vern Harnish, a lot, who talks about how to build, really large billion-dollar businesses, because that is where my passion lies. And so I think, so a lot of that stuff is happening. Of course, the daily news, I think the TOI app and Mint is more than enough to give us whatever, any breaking news, it comes on some WhatsApp group. So, I think we pretty much get updated with what is happening with Sushant Singh and those kind of stuff on WhatsApp groups. So yeah, for business, I think TOI and Mint is what is really good.
Sure. Thank you so much for sharing that. In fact, I have also read Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club book. I read it at 4 a.m. That's a different side to the story. I've always wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining this panel. I think it was indeed wonderful interacting with each one of you. A lot of key insights. And we would love to do this offline as well. I'm sure that'll make Dheeraj smile. I think an event sitting across the table offline with each one of you will have a different quality altogether. So thank you so much. And I wish you all the very best, hoping that times change quickly. We get the vaccine very soon and we go back to normal. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.